What's up, everybody? Asian Bass Guy. It's been a while since I did a video. Just been kind of busy, haven't been fishing as much. But anyways, this video I want to talk about preparations before you go out fishing, and then while you're out there, some things that I've learned that have burnt me, especially this weekend. I had the pattern, the fish to win it. And I mean, if you don't fish a perfect day, you're not gonna win. If you don't get those fish in the boat, you're just not gonna win, you know. And sometimes it's unlucky, and sometimes it's like this weekend. It was because of my fault of preparation. I tied new hooks, I tied new knots on all my baits and stuff like that, but I didn't tie all new knots when I should have. And another thing too is, you know, trying new knots or trying new baits or new hooks, or, you know, stuff like that. You can't do that when you're fishing for money and you're trying to you know, during a tournament. I mean, sometimes you can get away with it, but more times than not, that's what I found out that is what burns me. And this weekend I had the pattern, I had the technique, I knew it, and I wasn't getting bit in the morning, and I knew that I wasn't going to get bit in the morning. And I knew it was probably once the wind got up, which the wind got up about 11:30 noon, and I wasn't getting bit in the morning, so I put it down. And actually, when I picked it back up about 12:30, 1 o'clock, and then I put it back down, and then 2 o'clock I started getting bit. And because you know, from 1:30 till 2 o'clock, I threw it nonstop, and I was throwing a swim bait. And so and that's what I should have done all day. And if I would have done that all day, I could have figured them out quicker, and I would have had more time to run my pattern. But as it is, the fish, the females were coming up in pre-spawn on laydown wood and shallow docks, and they were there, they were eating it. And I had one that I broke, the knot came undone, which was totally my fault. Another one I had that I missed. On the swim bait, I ran another hook on top of the swim bait, treble hook. I cut the original hook off, but the line from the line tie to the hook, that piece of braid, I didn't have it tight, so when I threw it and it hit the water, the hook would turn, you know, like this, and not be straight up like this. So when that fish ate it, she ate it and only got one hook. And you know, it was coming into the net, mouth all open. She jumped up and just spit it. And I mean, that's totally. It could have been. I think it could have been. I think I could have gotten that fish in if I had prepared a little bit better. And so, you know, I mean, that's usually how it happens. Is that you're out there and you had everything. You had everything that you thought was prepared, but you weren't. And it wasn't really a new technique. It's just I don't throw it a lot. But little things told me. I mean, I caught one on a swim jig on wood off the bank, and then I caught another one later on the day on a crankbait on laydown wood near the bank, and that told me that they were. And then I missed another one on a swim jig. On the bank, or on a laydown wood near the bank, and that told me that they were up on the bank, or up on laydown wood and shallow docks. And so I started running that pattern, and actually I ran that pattern with the swim jig and crankbait because that's where I was catching fish with. And they weren't, you know, they weren't there, or they were there, they just weren't eating that bait. And it was about 2 o'clock when I picked up that swim bait and really started throwing it. And actually, I was throwing it behind a guy in front of me was fishing probably I don't know, a quarter of a mile down and fishing the docks, and he had been throwing jigs and Cincos, or flipping baits, pitching baits on all these docks and wood, and I threw that swim bait in there, and man, I had some giants follow it out, and they were nipping and biting it, and I just another thing too is when you're coming down the edge of a dock and one comes out, and I think what was happening is one would come out and eat it, and I wasn't allowing it to turn, because I mean, there's some, when you get 4 or 5 pounders that do that, it makes your heart race. And when you're throwing on braid or 20-pound fluorocarbon with an 8-foot rod like a swim bait rod, and you set the hook, you're moving, you're moving a long line, and I think I missed a couple fish because of my lack of patience and inexperience with throwing swim baits. And also, it's a pretty high intense, tournament situation, and so, but if you're just a weekend fisherman, not doing tournaments, you'll enjoy yourself more if you prepare the night before and make sure your line is good. Replace your line, tie new hooks. Don't try to use new line or new style of hooks, or new knots. For me, there's days where you go out there and you got to try new stuff, but when it counts, when you need those fish, when you've done all the homework, because I did a lot of homework, and actually 2 years ago I had the same pattern, and that year on this same tournament, my power pack went out my boat, and I couldn't go above idle, so I couldn't run and gun, and then my batteries died because I was on them all the time. And so yeah, this tournament it doesn't like me for some reason, and but if you guys just make sure you prepare and don't use anything, just use what works, use what's worked for you before, especially on knots, line. If you're in a pinch for line, and you just go out to Walmart and buy just whatever, or whatever tackle stuff, try to get what you throw, because what'll happen is you'll get that line and it'll break on you, or something will happen, and then it just messes with the psyche of your head when you're out there. And tournament fishing is all head games. It's all about, are you mentally tough to be able to fish and win. And I mean, on Saturday, I almost I had one fish that I lost, and I had to sit down, and those tournament guys that know that's pretty bad when it gets to that point. Everything's just coming down on you. Your preparation, you didn't prepare enough for it. You have the pattern to win, and you really want to win, and it just doesn't happen for you, and because of one, lack of preparation. Now, if I went out there and prepared and everything went well, and you don't get some fish in the boat, but I mean, when you go out to a lake that and you fish all the time, and you bring in 3 fish, you don't even bring in a limit, and you had the fish and the fish bit you. I mean, it really takes a toll on you, but if you just learn from your mistakes, that's how people become better fishermen. So this one's a big learning experience for me, and it'll do nothing but make me a better fisherman. So, but so if you guys just prepare, go out on days that are good, days to experiment. When they're biting, when they're really biting, you can experiment with new line, new knots, new hooks, new baits, new techniques. But during a tournament situation, it's not one to do it. But so I hope this helps. I might elaborate on more of this later, because it is kind of a large topic, you know, and that's why I'm trying to do these videos, so that, you know, everybody knows what kind of lines and what kind of baits and what kind of techniques are, you know, and how to rig them and fish them to where they work the best. So but I hope this helps, and thanks for watching my video.